Aloha, good morning. This is Karumbi Davis of Karumbi Realty International. Welcome today. Hope you all had a wonderful Easter with your friends and family last weekend. We certainly did, and I love all the variety of food that we have at a brunch. It's just the best. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about how last month fared compared to February, and we definitely saw some record-breaking sales in March. Basically, we saw over 84% more sold houses than February, and the median price was up about 18%. And a lot of times that median price is up just because prices are, they've gone up. And when a broker lists a property for sale, they're probably pricing better than, say, 8 months ago when we weren't used to the different factors in today's market, like the interest rates higher, what buyers are willing to pay. So if we bring our pricing into tighter with today's market, we're certainly getting higher prices on the home. Days on the market was faster. A lot of that is, again, pricing and the way a home shows. And of course, there's lots of different ways out there to market homes and get the word out. And I know people are still looking for that new and exciting listing that shows well. Brokers are out there looking at, to bring those properties to one of their prospective clients. The percentage that sold at full price or above asking was over 50%. Again, another factor of tighter pricing right now on some of these homes. And the price per square foot was up about over 32%, which is quite relative. With people getting used to the building costs up there. It's way less expensive to find a house that is actually something you can move into than do it yourself these days. And the price reductions were actually up. Again, more dynamic actions by real estates right now to try to move properties for their clients with the changes that they're making in their lives. But the most exciting news for single family homes last month in March was the highest price ever on Oahu. And that price sold was over $65 million. And let me tell you a bit about that home. I'll just get it here. And I was fortunate enough to see the house. It didn't have any really brokers opens or public open houses. Of course, I was personally invited to view the home for a couple of my clients that have been looking. And it was just magical. Most people, of course, when they saw a price tag of 64 million, go, oh, it's never going to sell. Oh my God, I can't believe they're asking that. But when I walked through the property, which was over 200 feet of oceanfront, direct beach frontage on about 1.5 acres of land with 3 beautiful structured homes, beautifully appointed, the design of the homes. I actually thought, yes, it's going to sell. A home like this on the East Coast, when I'm visiting the East Hamptons, it would have been over 100 million, probably 150 million. So it really was a great value, even though it's a lot of money, of course. And we were fortunate. A local corporation bought the home who has a lot of business interests on the mainland as well. And of course, they could see the value in such an incredible compound. And then moving over to the condominiums. Condominiums are different market right now, and what I'm see, it's been a really weak market, but still active. As they say, it only takes one buyer, and what we're seeing with a lot of our listings right now is we don't have the flurry of people making showing appointments, but it only takes one, and that one buyer is out there. It's just really being patient and waiting for them to come. And I know just recently we're having a showing on one of our oceanfront condominiums, and the realtor made a point of telling me that when she had shown one of my other listings, I had made a point of mentioning this other property to her, and she said that's why I brought it to my client's interest. And so it's just those little things you do to keep trying to get your property sold for your clients. And we do a lot of cross marketing with our homes that we have listed. If one property doesn't work for a particular client, then we open up at 2 or 3 other properties that could possibly work for them. As far as condominiums, the solds were up though, which was fantastic. last month. They were up over 100%. There was a 13 closed sales compared to 6 the month before. But the median price was down. The median price went from 3.5 million to 2.1 million. And that's kind of just relative to maybe what is selling in March versus February. I find probably November to February, we're getting a lot of the international or bigger money clients from the mainland. And you'll see those buyers are definitely buying, majority of them will buy very expensive properties here. Even though we have a very strong following with local luxury buyers, and I was just doing some statistics this morning with my marketing director, and just to give you some idea, as you know, 53% of the luxury sales were from Hawaii residents the first quarter of last year. So it's still very strong. But, you know, when you're getting the California buyers or even the Japanese buyers, like the Japanese market represented between their corporations and also the individuals, over 30% for condominiums last year. Sorry, not last year, last quarter, say over 30%. And they generally will spend they will look for the more expensive condominiums like the Ritz-Carlton, Park Lane, definitely the very luxurious properties that they're buying, and something they can shut the door and travel, of course. As far as condominiums also, the local market represented about 32% for the first quarter of this year. And then again, California, very strong buying here. And unfortunately with the fires, we did see California buyers increase when those fires occurred to come and buy property here on Oahu. Now, if we look at the graph here, this will give you an idea of the closed sales. So as you can see, as far as the sales for the condominiums, 13 sales, so very healthy. We haven't seen, you know, sales like that since back in 2022. The ones of us who are lucky enough to live in Hawaii, we know how beautiful it is. And I think it'll never change. People are just enamored by Hawaii. We will keep seeing those buyers come. And then as far as the highest sale for a condominium, the highest sale was YEA, and it was a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, over 2,600 square feet, a wonderful residence, and that sold for 6.8 million, but was on the market for over 350 days. So sometimes patience is a virtue, they say. It was originally listed for 7.2 and made a slight adjustment. But it's beautiful property by AO, and they got through all their litigation. And oftentimes, I was talking to an engineer the other day, and you know, with the newer buildings, probably for the first 10 years, you do get a couple of issues coming on with the building. Every building has issues, and it's just a matter of resolving those. And I know YEA has been through their tough period, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of high sales occur in YEA again. Anyway, let's share Marianne's photos today. It's all about getting back to nature. And it's funny how we should talk about that, because it was just yesterday I said to Doug, okay, this weekend we're going to get in the ocean and we're going to go for a walk. I think it's, you know, we've all been working very hard in real estate since the beginning of the year, and it's a 24/7 job, but sometimes you just got to get there out in nature. And these photos are very representative of some of the beautiful things you can see out there, that we're fortunate enough that Marianne sees them and takes these amazing photos every week. And here's the butterflies, and of course, they're a metaphor for a spiritual rebirth, transformation, change, hope, and light. And here, the beautiful white terns designated the official bird of Honolulu in 2007. Absolutely stunning. And of course, our eye-catching, in that this is a pink hibiscus. Always beautiful to see those out. And it's funny when we think of flowers, like today I have a photographer going out to a home. We're not quite ready to have it photographed, but all these flowers are blossoming. So I said, you need to get out there and take a photo while we can still get all these flowers in the photography for marketing the home. And then, of course, the sunsets over the ocean. We never get tired about sunsets that we enjoy at the end of a wonderful day. Anyway, thank you for joining. And next week I will be on site on one of our newest listings at the Illinois. But I thank everyone for joining us today. Much mahalo. Have a wonderful weekend.